Hi and good evening. How are you? Let me just check that you can see me alright, that I'm not upside down by any chance, and that the sound is working. And then we will be ready to rock and roll. Yep, there we go. And I do have two cameras now here, so I just want to make sure that we're on the right one. Somebody's with me, please say hi. Let me know you're here, where you're calling in, actually where you're watching from. And I look forward to serving you today, and I look forward to sharing things that I have learned from my own experiences and those from working with my clients about the capacity and serving and getting the clarity, because at the end of the day, we all have 24 hours and we really try to make the best out of the time. And the other day I was invited to facilitate a presentation. It was actually put together in less than 24 hours, and it was amazing. I was like, oh my gosh, this is something that my people need to hear. So I put it together, and including this training, because like I said yesterday in a post, the other day in a post, I went through some of the notes and from my own clients, and about 90% of them, when they first come to me, they have no way of really bringing together their vision, their desired lifestyle, the monetary goals that they have for themselves. So what we are trying to do is really merge it all together, and I'm going to give you the tools today to be able to do so. There's some technical difficulties on my end here. Some things are popping up, some things are not working. So give me one more moment. We're going to give it time for people to hop on, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. In the meantime, if you have questions, please put them in a comment section. Yeah, this is not going to work, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do this. All right, okay. When technology is not working, we're gonna just simply make the best out of it. So here we are. And is now this frozen here? Can you see me on Facebook? Is this working, or is this completely frozen now? Yeah, you know what, I'm gonna... All right, aborting one of the pieces of technology. So here we go, fully present. You're here, I'm here. Let's rock and roll. So for those who are new in this community, I am so excited that you're here because I have something exciting to show you. And that is how powerful you are when you get to create your freedom, you get to serve at the highest level, and you master your time. And at the end of the day, it goes way beyond just scheduling and ticking off, the to-do list. I'm not gonna bore you with that, because right now we're gonna dive deeper into more essential stuff, and it's gonna serve you whether you're just starting out or whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur. And again, if you have any questions, leave them in a comment. I will do my very best to answer them as we go, and if not, definitely at the end. And I see there's somebody with me here. Hi! So in case we are just meeting, I'm Sarah Oblak Spiker. And what I get to do with powerhouse entrepreneurs, with those who have created some level of success and are maybe reinventing themselves, those who have this amazing vision and are trying to bring it to life, and also those who are just caught up in day-to-day minutia and are trying to get out of it so they can actually become the CEO of their companies. I serve as their mindset expert and help them develop their own mindset mastery. I help them transform their business as an intuitive business strategist. And of course, underlining of all of that, it's really bringing together their best lives. So as a life strategist, I also serve in that capacity, and that all together has been a beautiful journey that I have been on, and I invite you to read more about it on the website. I'm not gonna spend much time on reintroducing myself because we have something more juicy to dive into. So as I mentioned earlier, I was invited not that long ago to do a presentation on time management, and one of the segments of that presentation really caught attention of the audience, and I thought, very interesting. And that was when it came to capacity. they did not want to know about, like I said, scheduling and to-do lists, but on a more deeper level about the capacity and how to bring it together when it comes to the client service, ability to serve at the highest level, ability to create this consistent and desired cash flow that allows you to have more freedom and not the other way around. And the other part of the inspiration for this training right now was also a couple of conversations with my clients, and I'm going to give you very practical examples so you know what I'm talking about. So client number one, they came to me and they said, I would love to serve my clients in a way that they come to my space twice a week and we have these healing and coaching sessions, and I really help them throughout the whole process, and they have access to me in between. And this whole process, from my experience, the way I see it, should last about 6 months or so. And it's like, amazing. Do you feel lit up about it? They said yes. I said, do you feel excited and really can't wait to get involved, to welcome your clients in that container, so to speak? And they were beaming. You could hear from their voice that was it. So the next piece of the puzzle in that situation was like, okay, great. This is amazing. Let's put this aside. Let's now put that piece into the schedule that you shared with me. That would be your ideal schedule. And then I could hear needle drop. It was like, oh shoot, there's no way. There's no way I can fit it in my schedule. It's like, okay, good. So we have something to work with here. Now the third piece, let's take a look into that one. I said, and I invited the client to now take a look into the financial goal that they had, right? We all know, I want to make something clear. I want you to hear this. I'm going to be talking about dollars and cents and numbers, but it does not all revolve around the numbers. At the end of the day, there's the legacy that we're building, there's the lifestyle that we're creating, there's the purpose we're stepping into, right? And the level of fulfillment we're seeking. And at times, it does not necessarily translate into numbers, but you will be hearing both sides, right? You'll be hearing very tangible and very practical stuff, as well as very spiritual and energetic language. So brace yourself for both. And if this is not your arena, if this is nothing like the language that you speak, then there's not gonna be any hard feelings if you choose to leave this conversation. So back to that client's example, right? I invited them to now take a look into the numbers and take a look into the monetary goals. And I was like, okay, great. Now if we, bring that signature program that they are so lit up about it and compare it to the monetary goal, do they even stand a chance of meeting that goal? And again, the answer was no. And the silence on the phone was like, you could again hear the needle drop. And this is why it's so important. The first thing I want you to hear, and take a notes, write it down if you need to. When you're in business, when you're an entrepreneur, there's 3 legs that you're supporting, and they need to be sturdy and in balance. One is you and your needs, things that light you up, the time that you need for yourself. Second one is your business and the needs of your business. That includes the cash flow, right? And then the third one is your clients, the needs and desires of your clients, where they are, where they want to be, where you need to take them through so that they can create and experience this transformation, that they can create the desired results for themselves. Especially when we are in the transformational and service-based business, right? This is important. But it doesn't always have to be transformational based service. It can be very hands-on, which is example of my second client, who also came to me and they said, I have this amazing vision for my business, but I have created just another job for myself and I can't seem to find a way out of it. It's like, okay, let's take a look what's going on. And they were really proud to say that after 20 years of being an agency owner, now they transitioned and they presented themselves as a consultant, but in their state of mind, they saw themselves as a beginner. So the rates that they created for themselves were the beginner rates. despite the fact that they had, decades of experience. The second problem was that in order to stay at the desired level of $20,000, you can do the math. They literally created a full-time job for themselves of billable time. We all know that when we are in business, a lot of things happen beyond the billable time, right? The marketing, the sales, the management, the admin, self-care. So, of course, they again were really lost. There was this huge disconnect between where they were and what they desired, and they couldn't seem to build that bridge. So today I want to bring you on this training in case this is a situation when you're finding yourself in, and you're finding yourself that you are on this teeter-totter between the desire and the reality, between the, oh, I'm so excited to work with my clients, and then collapsing in bed at night, exhausted. Or as parents, right now my two little ones, I have two girls, they're 4 and 6. We decided with my husband that we're not signing them up for any summer camps this summer because we really wanted the flexibility and the freedom to really enjoy it, to go anywhere that we wanted at any time that we wanted. So on my end with my business, I had to sit down by myself too, take a piece of paper and go through the exact exercises we're gonna walk through right now to make sure that I can be there for them, that I have time for myself to do what I need to do to serve them, and then for my clients. And oh my gosh, I can't wait to get started. I know this is a little bit longer intro, so thank you for bearing with me. But again, I wanted to give you this illustration so you can have this tangible point of reference of what we're even talking about. So the first thing that I would like to invite you into is to take a piece of paper, and if if you're not doing this right now, pause it when you're watching a replay and do this through watching a replay. Sometimes what I like to do is I love seeing everything through and then go back and do these exercises. But you might operate differently, so you do whatever works for you. But one of the fastest productivity hacks that we're gonna start right off the bat is, prioritizing your time. And as entrepreneurs, we all wear like a million different hats. Whether you're just starting out or whether you're a leader, that you already have employees and you already have team in place, 24 hours is very rarely enough time in a day. We all wish for more hours. So one of the very elegant ways that you can really start creating this time frame for yourself, the expanding capacity on a schedule, right? And then we'll come to the emotional capacity at the other side of the conversation towards the end, so bear with me, it's going to be fun. I want you to tap into your vision. What is it you're looking to create? And I want you to be really open and not shy about it, because this is not the time to hold yourself back and have one foot on your brake and, negating when a desire comes up and like, no, you know what, I don't quite know how I'm going to make it happen, and who am I to even deserve this, right? No. So now it's time to really let it come out of you and have those divine downloads, catch them, put them on a paper, okay? Simple. I also want you to tap into, how do you want this, let's say that it's your desired lifestyle, your ideal day, right? If you had a magic wand right now, what would you like your ideal day to look like? And how would you want to feel about it, right? And what are some of the things that version of you, that version who already lives in that reality that you're writing about, what are things that you are not tolerating anymore? Be very picky. Be very selective. There's no guilt, there's no shame. If it doesn't light you up, it's a hell no. So this is going to be something, this exercise alone is something that I would encourage you to revisit every couple of months, maybe every quarter, maybe every 6 months, and keep adjusting it accordingly to your growth and your business's growth and your personal evolution and expansion, to make sure that in the back of your mind, in the subconscious, there's still this connection, that there's still alignment with your vision as you're growing into that vision. Okay, so the reason why this is so important is that once you pull out the calendar, and this is going to be the next step actually, when you take out a piece of paper and if you just simply write down, a chart, Monday to Friday or Monday to Sunday, and from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, and if you start tracking things, maybe you use colorful post-its, maybe you use colorful Sharpies, whatever works for you. When you start tracking things, what you actually do in a day, you will be blown away. No wonder we are so freaking exhausted, right? And overwhelmed and anxious and under this pressure to consistently perform and consistently deliver, because hey, we are putting on so much expectations on ourselves, because we're led to believe, and that's a whole mindset piece here, but we're led to believe oftentimes, and it was something that I had to learn and I had to release. We are not our own results. We are not the number on the bank account. We are not the number on the scale. We are not the number on the scoreboard. But this is how we operate. And we keep creating this hamster wheel where we consistently chase after the next goal and the next goal, and the line keeps moving, right? We never step across the line, which, yes, it's normal that, you never quite get there. You never achieve it, and you're never like, oh yeah, this is it, because there's always more that you're striving forward. That's a different conversation. The one I'm talking about is those expectations and the never-ending to-do list that we're so familiar with, right? Those are the ones that are keeping us stuck and unable to really serve at the highest level, to really be present with our families, to really be able to honor our own needs. And this is crucial for every one of us who are in service-based business, where we are serving with our knowing, with our energy, with our presence. You can't pour water out of an empty bucket, right? So what we give to others is not from that, actually from the, from tea kettle. It's actually what's overflowing once our cup is full. That's what we have to give. And if we don't create the time in default as a part of our own success strategy to keep having our cup, tipped full, filled, we're doing the service, not just to ourselves, but to everybody around us, to everybody who relies on us, because sooner or later, you come to the end of the rope, and then what? I've been through 2 burnouts. Believe me, it sucks. It's not pretty, and the recovery is much longer than I would like to admit, that I even care to admit. But it has been one of the greatest experiences and one of the greatest gifts that I cherish the most, because it has taught me this valuable lesson that I am now able to share with you, not just from theory, but my own personal experience. So let me know if any of that resonates. Let me know if you have any questions when it comes to this topic. Let me know what comes up for you. Because now what we're going to do, as I mentioned, once you track everything that you have been doing, and you regroup from the shock that, oh my gosh, it is way more than what you thought, or maybe, oh my gosh, I had no idea I'm spending 5 hours a day on phone, and 4.5 hours of those are on social media, just browsing through. Now that you are tracking, now you can see, you can start changing that habit, and all of a sudden you have 4.5 extra hours in your day. Isn't that awesome? But this exercise, now that you have this chart, when you have the blank calendar, so to speak, in front of you, is also going to help you put everything on paper. That vision that we created earlier, remember when I invited you to really tap into and take a look into your day, take a look into your week, how does it look like, how does it feel like? This is where most of my clients, when they first come to me, get tripped on, because most of them have never done this before. I'm so excited because I'm gonna give this to you for free. I know that you need it. If you're watching this, I know you need it. So my gift to you. And it's so simple that you won't believe it. So, again, if you're a person who loves colorful Sharpies, do that. If you're a post-it type of person, do that. Do whatever works for you. Take a piece of paper. It can be a regular plain paper. It can be paper with lines. It can be one of the big, you know, when you have the flip charts for presentations. It can be dry erase board, whatever works for you. If it's in a computer, if you geek out when it comes to charts and systems in a computer, do that. Whatever works for you, it has to excite you. So what you're going to do now is, again, you're going to create a chart Monday to Friday from the moment you wake up to the time you go to bed. And first thing I want you to do is block off, take your favorite color, the color that really lights you up, and block off the time for yourself. And that means if it's self-care for massages and pedicures and manicures and hair, do that. If it's self-care in terms of meditation and mindset work and journaling and exercising, which is something I really hope you are nodding your head right now. I wish I could. I have to say I am slacking in the exercise department, but I am getting back on track on that one as well. I have two drill sergeants who hopefully are asleep right now, but they are ruthless and I'm forever grateful for them. We just went hiking today and it was amazing. So I want you to really block off this time for yourself, because if you don't, no one else is going to care about it. If you don't create the boundaries about what you need to keep your own cup full so that you can serve from the overflow, no one else is going to care about it, especially not your little ones and especially not your spouse. They love you. They do. They want what's best for you. But that's pretty much where this boundary enforcement now comes on you. So the next step, what you're going to do is you're going to look into how you want your business to look like. And again, that will change as your business grows, as your business expands, as your team grows, as your commitments grow, as your vacations get booked into, you know, even quarterly if you're in an industry that is very season dependent. All of that can be recreated periodically. Right? So what I want you to do right now is going to be blocking out the time to, actually, before we do that, I almost forgot, speaking about families, after your own time for yourself, of course, block out the times for your family. Is it breakfast? Is it chauffeuring everybody to and from the school? Is it being at a soccer practice? Is it being at the recitals? Is it being, you know, family dinners Sunday nights? Whatever it is that you do with your family, with your spouse, this goes on your schedule as well. And I know at the beginning it might sound like, this is boring. I know, I had the same reaction when I was first challenged to do that. I was like, I know my schedule. I don't need to put it in a Google Calendar. Are you kidding me? Yeah, but I did. Because at the end of the day, if you want a different result, you have to create different habits. And different habits can be created from different actions which are ignited by your emotions, but those get created by the thoughts. So if you think to yourself, this is boring, I'm not doing this is a waste of my time, well then go ahead, you know, keep enjoying the same result that you've been having. But if you want something different, it starts up here. So this is not a boring exercise, this is your survival kit. This should be a tweetable. So now we're going back to the business part. Remember when we were talking about the way you would love your life to look like? This is now when you get to play and you another set of Sharpies and you start putting in what are the days you want to work. My personal days are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. That's my work. Evenings like this, if I feel inspired, if I feel excited, I will create an evening when I get to show up in a way that feels aligned. I will get to do things that excite me. Sometimes it's taking a bath, sometimes it's showing up like this to serve my community. Sometimes it's the mornings. Actually, this morning I almost sabotaged myself to show up tonight for you. How ironic, we're talking about scheduling here, but full transparency here. So this morning I had an interview with somebody who's in the UK. So there is a time difference between New York and the UK, about 5 hours or so. So in order to be able to sync our schedules, I was like, you know what, it's okay, I'll get up at 5 in the morning and we'll rock and roll it. We'll record this podcast. It's going live soon, and it's all gonna be fine. And I got up in the morning, I was like, oh yeah, it's amazing. And then I checked my schedule for the rest of the day. I was like, oh, I have a live stream at 9 p.m. and a hiking tour in the day between. Awesome. We're gonna rock and roll. It's gonna be amazing. And Friday, I can do whatever I want, right? Even though the Friday is the working day, I can reset my schedule. I can do whatever I need for myself and whatever I want for myself. That's why we're in business, right? So take a look and feel into how you want your week to look like. Are you looking to work every day of the week? Are you looking to work on the weekends? Are you looking to work 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever your goal is? Put it down, own it, claim it. You know, put a flag in it, whatever, put a stick in it, whatever is the expression that you claim what's yours, right? So make a statement, let the universe know that you're claiming it. So how are we doing thus far? Because this was the groundwork. Now we're gonna start having fun with putting all the pieces of the puzzle in it. And this is the juicy part that trips so many. And it is the exact reason why I wanted to come up on this live stream and do this exercise with you to begin with. So, before we dive into it, there's another piece of information that might serve you, and I'm going to share it with you right now so that I don't forget later. You might want to put a little, star next to it and put it in your notes where you feel it will belong after we're done. But I really want to get it out of the way so then once we start flowing in the juicy part, we're not stopping at this one. So remember how I said at the beginning that there's very typical scheduling parts and there's typical to-do lists, management, and software and technologies that people usually do presentations on when it comes to time management and managing your capacity and providing the service and the cash flow and all the clarity and stuff like that. And yes, I just said it, I'm not the only one who teaches that. I know that, but I also know that there's no one else who does it the way that I do, and that's why you're here. So, optimizing, streamlining, automating, outsourcing, and eliminating. Those are the 5 things that we also take into consideration as we are filling out our schedule, as we are looking at all the hats that we're wearing, all the commitments that we have to our team, to our clients, to our family, to ourselves. So, optimization, you know how it works, you make everything work even better. In plain terms, may it be your systems, your processes, may it be technology piece, may it be day-to-day stuff, you know what applies to you. Streamlining, one of the greatest gifts that I received in terms of streamlining was learning how to multiplying the content, that you don't have to create every single piece over and over again. But for example, from this live training, I can create like 5 different pieces that can serve my clients in 5 different ways. And there's also time batching, task batching in the online world when it comes to coaching and consulting. There's another piece we call it get paid to create, which means you don't spend your time creating the whole course before you even know if there's an interest, but you fill up the seats first and then you go to create the details around it. So you get paid to create. Automation, again, I don't have to go into details here. Outsourcing can be done domestically. It can be done professionally. Your imagination is pretty much the only limit to the possibilities, because there is somebody who provides a service for literally everything that you can possibly imagine, including pooping, scooping. If you're a dog owner. I could not stop laughing when I heard for that service. It's like, oh my gosh, there's really service for everything. So outsourcing. And the last one is elimination, which we addressed at the very beginning of this training. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. Period. Simple as that. All right. So now that we got this out of the way, let's go to the juicy part. How are we doing? Let me know. Any questions? Any comments? What's coming up? My little ones are still awake. We're gonna have a conversation later. All right. So as I mentioned at the beginning, right, when I had those two client conversations who had this amazing vision for how they want to serve, they had this amazing vision of what kind of level of revenues they want to make, they had this vision for what kind of lifestyle they want to live. The problem was, it was like putting the pieces of three completely different sets of the puzzle together. Not compatible, not gonna work. And I was challenged recently by one of my own mentors when we were looking at my own level, my own goals and projections. And we're talking, I was like, yeah, I'm so excited. I am at this level of monthly revenues right now, and I'm looking to double it. And she goes, why would you want to set something up for doubling it? What about quadrupling it? And this little old basketball player in me came up. It's like, yes, we're gonna be quadrupling this, yay! Now we're talking, stretching the limits of my comfort zone, stretching the limits of possibilities, stretching the limits of, why not? So I was like, sure, done. Of course, done. So I did this exercise again just recently. So I am literally walking my talk as I'm sharing this with you. Not reading a book that I read somewhere and like, oh, I gotta tell this to my people here. No, I am doing this myself as well. So now that you have beautifully color-coded schedule in front of you, and you have reserved the times and block off the time for yourself and for your family, and you have created a framework for where your business time is going to come into, now let's take a look at your services, right? Because the business, if you're not serving your clients, you don't have business. And in order to serve your clients, you have to do the back end stuff like marketing and sales and management and admin and all of that, which already is penciled in, right? When you are creating this framework for when your time in business goes, you pencil that in. Content creation, you pencil it in. Meditation, vision work, that can double as business. Personal self-care plus business. You are your business. It goes hand in hand without saying. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at your services. And, it can be so frustrating sometimes, or it can be super exciting. It depends on how you choose to look at it. But like I said, I was doing this exercise with my clients on a regular basis, and I just did it for myself. And I noticed, I took a piece of paper. I was like, oh, great. If I want to create this 4 times the amount of revenue that I was just initially aiming for and make it a reality, how could I make this happen? Do I have the capacity for this? So what are some of the ways that I can do this? And I was like, what are the services that I offer? Like, well, VIP days are one of my favorites. 3-month intensives are awesome. I love doing 6-month work. I love supporting somebody in a year-long container. I also have the mastermind that's running on the side. And I also want to have the possibility that with the masterminders, it's not just the online training, but I also want to connect with people one-on-one. It's one of my signature things. I do work one-on-one because it just, in my experience, it creates a different level of service than simply just showing up on camera and speaking to a camera and then being done with it, okay? This is my way. Your way is probably different, and I hope it's different because it is yours, right? So you are gonna create what works for you. But the principle behind it is still the same. You are going to take your services, you're going to break them down based on what each and every one of them entails. Meaning, what are the features that you're offering? Features that you're offering, how many phone calls do your people get with you? Do you offer VIP days to your year-long people, right? In mine, if you work with me for a year, we meet for VIP day 4 times, and we also meet once for multi-day retreat at the destination of your choosing. So all of that has to fit in my 3-day work week schedule. So how are we gonna do that? VIP days. Usually they go anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. They can be virtual. People can fly to me. Where are we gonna fit it? How many a month can I possibly facilitate? Now, 3-month ones, right? We start with the VIP day, and then we meet bi-weekly. At the beginning, sometimes it gets a little bit more intense and to build the momentum. So again, I need to have this flexibility depending on a client. Does that fit in? How does that fit in? And last but not least, right? When we are looking for the monthly revenues, not every client is a paid in full client. Some of them are on a payment schedule. So this is a perfect example, for example, with this first client that I mentioned, right, who wanted to do bi-weekly meetings, bi-weekly meaning her clients coming to their practice twice a week, and they wanted to stretch it out over 6 months, meaning that the fee would probably be broken down into 6 payments, and the price point that they envisioned for this particular container was about $5,000, which comes down to less than $1,000 a month, right? So we're like, okay, great. Well, now what is the monthly revenue goal, which was 15 times as much? It's like, oh, look at the disconnect. Do you have a way of facilitating and caring for 15 clients at that level in order to meet your goal? Again, deer in the headlights, panicking. It's like, okay, no worries. The easiest way is actually adjusting the price point, because almost always we undervalue what we bring to the table. We undervalue the level of service and the value of the transformation that we facilitate. We undervalue the level of the results and value of the results that we help to co-create, and the lifetime value of that anyway. So the most wiggling room is in the pricing, right? So with this particular client, hey, even if it was $15,000 now for this particular service, it would probably still be underpriced. Okay, so if you're looking at your own chart now, and you're looking at how you are serving, and you break it down, okay, if they're on a payment plan, how many do I have the capacity to serve? How are we doing? Where are you in relation to the monetary goal? Do you have a way of meeting it? Will you be burning out? Or are you exceeding it with your feet up, pina colada in your hand, and Netflix binge watching Netflix? Let me know. But there's another piece. Like I said, it's like putting pieces of the puzzle together, and I literally geek out with that one. So the second piece, right, when we are taking a look across, if it's not a intensive like a VIP day, it's one and done with a little, with some service before and some support afterwards, things are gonna get stretched out across a couple of months. So now we're not only looking for month 1, but in month 1, month 2, you'll be still serving people from month 1 and adding new ones. Month 3, you'll be serving people from the month 1, month 2, and adding new ones, right? So all of those need to be taken into consideration, whether you're a coach, whether you're a consultant, whether you're a virtual assistant or a graphic designer or a photographer, okay, fine, depending on the practices that you have, okay? Depending on the services that you provide, but let's say web designers, financial services, copywriting might be one of those two. The list can go on and on and on, right? Where the ongoing monthly retainers, if you will, can be really great for your continuous cash flow, or it can create a huge bottleneck for your business if you don't know what to project for, if you don't know what your capacity is, if you don't know how to manage it all, and if you're underpricing to begin with. Okay, so when I was looking into that for myself the other day, like I mentioned, I was like, oh, it's so amazing. So what changes can I make? How many spots can I open here? How many spots can I open here? How many do I have to close there? And what does really excite me? And it really gave me an opportunity to go back to the first part, visualizing what is a hell yes for me, right? And it was super clear that, the way I initially designed my mastermind might not be the best for moving forward. So 2.0 version is getting some facelift, is getting some, it's going to be slightly changed. Prices, again, we were looking at the prices. What do I need, again, for the tripod, almost like, what is, let me rephrase that, not talking about me, but about you. So pricing wise, right? What do you need to show up fully, to be excited, to make yourself available to serve, and to also create for yourself this space where you can continuously care for yourself, when you can continuously invest in your own education, in your own personal and business development, when you can fly to different conferences, when you can hire the best mentors, when you can go and get massages, right? When you can invest in your personal chef, a cleaning crew for your house, all of those different ways that you can honor yourself. What do you need? How much money do you need to make? The second piece is your business. As you're talking, it's the monthly revenue, and here's the kicker. Again, I can't believe I'm gonna give you all of this for free, but here it goes. It's highest level of service. Monthly revenues. There's so many different ways to look into them. Usually we hear about, oh my gosh, 10K months, 25K months. Great. Let me know. Do you mean like profit? Do you mean like revenues? And are taxes counted into it, or is it, before or after taxes? And again, when I touch the topic with many of my clients, I again get this deer in the headlights. They're like, what? Because we're so accustomed to hearing specific numbers being thrown out that we don't even think about until it's time to pay taxes and our accountants are chasing us down, right? So again, when you're looking at your monthly goal that you're trying to meet for your business or exceed, sit down, work those numbers, and understand what is that your business needs to be supported. What are all the areas? So, I was working, it's not a secret, I have a desire to move to Europe, and I have a very specific set of things that need to be put in place. And like, okay, financially wise, what do I need? Oh, this is what I need here, and this is what I need here, this is what I need here, which it could be a percentage of that, and that could be a percentage of that, and that could be a percentage of that, and then you reverse engineer and you come back to this number like, oh yeah, great, at least my goal and that number were the same ones, so there was not a disconnect. But oftentimes there is when you start reverse engineering, and then it's a shock, right? When you're planning for something and then you reverse engineer and you realize that this, what you were planning for, could barely cover just the taxes that you have to pay at the end. And it's like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? How is usually the next step, the next question, freaking out about the how we're going to create the next part, right? And the next and the next and the next. So, just a side note. Let me know if that freaks you out or if that fires you up. I know I had somebody who came to me. It's like, I don't want to talk about the numbers. I'm a creative person. I get high just thinking about all the structure. But by the time we were done with the exercise like this, I could feel the shift in their energy. I could feel, the weight lifted off their shoulders, and it's like, I can breathe again. I knew there was a piece missing, and I was so resisting even taking a look at it, but I knew it was the foundation for my business. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I was like, of course, you're welcome. This is what we're here for, and this is what you're here for. Because this is stuff that I honestly have not heard many people talk about. Now, I don't know, maybe this is an information that's reserved for their, high-end private conversations with paying clients. I don't know. I want to serve you. I don't want to give it to you for free, because without it, it doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve me. So, all right, where are we now? So, are we clear now on how your services, as they are right now, fit into your desired schedule? Are you clear on whether or not you have the capacity or not? And if you're just joining, there are a couple of steps that we covered in order to get to this point. So I do invite you to go back after we're done to listen to the recording, which is going to be available here, because those steps are crucial for laying down this foundation that we are now putting the pieces of the puzzle in. Yeah, so when you have that, like I said, you can expand it as much as you want to. You can upgrade it and revise it as many times as you need to, as your kids' school schedules are changing, as you are up-leveling your own services, as your spouse is retiring and now you want to travel more. Whatever the situation is, you always have this, what is the expression we have in Slovenia would literally translate into having the needle and the scissors and the fabric in your hands, right? When you can literally cut out whatever it is that you need to cut out. So you can fully customize it however you want to. And when you have a team in place, they can help you too. And if you have a mentor, and if you haven't done this exercise, but you're talking about the pricing, and you're talking about positioning, and you're talking about client acquisition, and you're talking about all these different marketing strategies and sales tactics and stuff, I urge you to do this first, because you would be surprised how often we are subconsciously sabotaging ourselves, because we know, our soul knows, that we either do not have any way possible to serve the clients that we are trying so hard to bring on, or our soul knows that by the time those clients show up and we try to serve them, we will burn out, we will be disappointed, we will be resentful, because the return is just not going to be an equal. We'll be giving more than what we're receiving in terms of the payment, and that in itself creates this huge disconnect. So, at the end of the day, again, I will be honest with you, sometimes it's not even about getting more and more and more and more clients. It's about serving the ones that you have on a higher level. It's about providing better services. It's about understanding better what their journey is, because I can almost guarantee you that the way you're serving them right now is just a fraction of what they actually need, and that what you're being paid for in exchange for your expertise is just a fraction of what you actually deserve. And the goals that you have right now, that you dare to say out loud, are just a fraction of what's actually available to you. So I do challenge you to expand in that area, to claim that area. And right now you might feel all, fired up, and it's like, yes, I'm gonna go get it. I have it all on paper. Yeah, let's do it. Tomorrow morning you'll wake up, you're like, shoot, how am I supposed to do this? Where am I gonna find those people? She was talking about $10,000 VIP days. Where are those people? Because the ones that I'm trying to find are nickeling and diming me for $2,000. And I'm working my ass off, and I'm trying to give them the best experience possible, and they turn around and they hire somebody else. Where's the disconnect? That is the disconnect. When you're undervaluing yourself, you're creating this downward spiral, energetically, emotionally, mentally, and it's attracting the whole wrong kind of clients. And it's a rabbit hole. And with that, when you're trying to meet your monetary goals and you're trying to work with your capacity, again, it's a downward spiral, because you're not creating the results with the wrong kind of client. You cannot create the right kind of results, right? So the first reaction is, oh shoot, I have to discount, I have to plead with somebody to come into my circles, I have to offer an arm and a leg and do all tons of bonuses thing to really make it inciting and exciting for people, right, to come in. And again, you're not meeting your goals and you're on a fast course to burnout. And you start resenting your business, you start resenting your life, you start worrying about things. Bills have to get paid, right? Your kids want you to be at their games and recitals, and before you know it, your head is spinning. And I know how it feels, and I know how frustrating it can be. So again, when you have the clarity around your capacity, and when you have the clarity around the desired lifestyle, and you have the clarity about what is that you help your clients create and experience, right? The pricing piece itself takes care of itself. But we are the only ones, the wire that holds our ears together, as I joke with my little ones sometimes. That's that obstacle. That's something that we keep tripping over and over and over, because the questions come up as, but who am I to charge this much? Who am I to show up this way? Who am I, right? But I'm afraid, what if I fail? What if I don't get them results? What if this doesn't work out? What if I succeed and all of a sudden I have this influx of clients and I have no idea of taking care of them, right? And I have no idea of serving them, and where do I even hire support? Where do I even start with this? Where do I even start with that? And all the stories that our mind now creates is simply a defense mechanism, right? It's super convenient because now it's holding us stuck where we are because it's comfortable. And when we stretch out a little bit, we get to taste a little bit what it feels like. It's that one of the hooks that's pulling us back. Can I really do this? Why do I have it so easy? But my parents have sacrificed so much and they're working so hard. Do I really deserve it, or am I betraying them? It's amazing the stories our mind's telling. The mind is capable of telling you. So what are some of the things that you can do for yourself, first and foremost, to really put this in place for you, and then to make sure you execute it? I invite you to be with this right now. Let me know in the comments. And if you're watching a replay, I invite you to send me a message and let me know, either comment under the video or send me a private message, because my intention right now is not just to give you pieces of information, because at the end of the day, all of that can be Googled up. Literally, you can sit down and you can Google up every single thing I just told you here. But what makes the difference is execution. It's seeing things through, and seeing things through as possible with a new perspective, with a new set of a lens, like not through the pink lens, not through the one that has a little spot here that's blocking your view, but a clear lens, right? A higher perspective, because it's so much clearer when you're actually up there looking down and when you're in the minutia trying to navigate everything and the bolts and the nuts and everything. What do you need? What do you know that you need? What are the missing pieces that, as you're looking at your plan right now and you're like, okay, I can do this scheduling here, and I have this desire here, and if I'm challenging myself and quadruple my goals, what kind of services do I offer? How do I structure those services? How do I price them? Whatever is that missing piece, let me know. Reach out, let me know. Let's talk about it. I am happy to sit down with you and have a conversation and help you finalize this plan and help you create your own plan. Not the one that worked for me, not the one that worked for my clients, not the one that worked for some of my mentors, but the one that's gonna work for you. And we can sit down and we can go really point by point, bullet point by bullet point, step by step. What do you need to put in place in order to get there? And then, depending if you're somebody who loves all the pieces of information up front, and then you take it to your team, or you know exactly what to do, we can do that. We can create that. If you're somebody who loves that, but also knows that there's extreme value in this ongoing support, in the feedback, in the accountability, in the guidance and consistent expansion, that once you have this piece let's say, your perfect blueprint in place, hey, you're gonna be done within 3 months. Then what? Right? Are you still expanding? Are we expanding even higher? So all of that, we're back. So all of those things play important piece, because like I said, I am not interested in overwhelming you with information. What I care about is your transformation, and you are responsible for that transformation, and you are responsible for the execution piece. And as much as we like to believe that we are capable of it and that we have everything that we need, because we do have it on paper after all, it's those little gremlins that, you know, we wake up with in the morning that go, yeah, well, maybe not today, and well, I tried it before and it didn't work, and but I don't know quite how, and I'm getting overwhelmed here, and I'm afraid to doing this. We're all human, right? It's no denying, it's no hiding it. I'm the first one to be super transparent when I'm struggling with something, and I have to tell you, that's why I have my own mentors who are kicking me in the ass as well as handing me a box of tissues when needed. And I am here the same way for my clients. And my own mentors are also available to my clients, because I don't know everything. I don't see things from every single angle and every single level. And there are times when I run things by my mentors, like, what would you do here? What do you suggest here? And we take a look in each case and like, oh yeah, thank you. And now I'm able to serve my client at the next level. So when we are taking a look into our own goals, this servant heart, so to speak, plays a very important role, because the buck doesn't just stop with our own business. We are creating the legacy for our kids first and foremost. They are watching our every single step. What are we teaching them? What are we showing them? Right? That mommy can be fierce and fearless and follows her heart, but then she collapses and climbs out like a hermit the crab when things don't go her way, when she gets scared. No. No. We're expecting things from our clients, right? For them to really expand and stretch beyond their own limits. But when it comes time to stretch our own, we're like, no, I'll just play it safe. Doesn't work that way, right? And it goes beyond just, you know, like I said, building a business that meets our own goals, or building the business that, you know, is going to allow our kids to go to schools that we want to, have the vacations that we want to able to support hopefully a charity or a cause that is meaningful to us. It goes way beyond that. So I really urge you to be super honest with yourself. What is it you need? What is it you want? What is it you desire? Where is it you're stuck? And why are you stuck? And I can tell you right now why. It's not the lack of some sort of strategy. It's not the lack of some sort of technical piece. It starts with ourselves. It starts with our mindset. It starts with our energy. It starts with our frequency, right? The level at which we vibrate. What is it we are attracting? And from the big picture to the small, tiniest things, as the, for example, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, the language that we're using every single day, all of that plays a role in how we serve, in the capacity that we have. Because like I said at the beginning of the presentation, at the beginning of this training, it's not just the capacity on the schedule that matters. It's the capacity of our heart, it's our emotional maturity, it's the capacity of our mental state, it's the capacity of our energetic being presence, that we're able to hold that space for our client, that we're able to hold that vision for our client. All of that counts. And because of that, it is so crucial that the first step of this exercise that we created, when we're blocking off the time for ourselves, you take a look into what you need to keep yourself going and to keep your cup full, right? And that the price that your clients are paying, it's not exchanging your hours for dollars, because it's not just the time you get to spend with them on the phone, or the time that you get to write for them, or the number of pages that you write. It's the energy that you hold for them. It's the vision that you hold for them. It's the manifesting that you facilitate for them or on their behalf, or coming up with solutions and ideas for them. And it's the lifetime value that the transformation that they get to experience with your help has, and the impact that that has on their lives and their businesses, not just for the, let's say, 3 months that they get to spend together with you. What happens in 6 months? How is it affecting their a year from now? How is it affecting them 5 years from now? How is it affecting them 10 years from now? And the same questions go to you, right? If you're taking a look at your vision and you dare to quadruple it, and let's say you're aiming for $25,000 months, and your challenge is like, you know what, let's aim for, okay, not maybe quadruple, but let's take a look at $70,000 a month. Month after month times 12, right? What difference does this make between where you are right now and where you could be in a year? And now 10 years from now, right? What is the difference? And what is this difference allowing you to create? What space is this difference allowing you to step into? What level of the service is now this difference enabling you to provide, right? All of those pieces are so important, and they get oftentimes neglected with our short-sightedness. I might have just made up this word. And this need for instant gratification. And in this environment when everything is, just so instant, and quantum leaps, and just grow, exponential growth right now. But what about the longevity of it, right? What about the so-called long tail of it? All of it matters. And if you set yourself up right now to win that long game, you literally have nothing to worry about. And then you can focus on being the version of yourself step by step by step, who executes it at every single level, brings it to life, right? Sounds super easy, and I hope you feel that way too. But at the end of the day, we are all just human. We have very human experiences. So again, if this is something that resonates, reach out. We can sit down and we can figure out what the best plan for you is. And if we're a fit, how we're gonna work together, how I can support you, whether it's this short-term thing or the long-term, long tail. Let me know. Reach out via message, reach out via email, or through my website and fill out the application, and we're gonna sit down. We can have a conversation. We'll go from there. Okay? Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you so much for sharing this space and sharing the energy with me. It's been my honor and my pleasure to serve you. Talk to you later. Bye.